Alright, I'm loading trucks today off dirt pile, and it seems like a good time to make mention of a few things. When you do a job like this, you have to be careful what you do, because on the front you're going to have a cliff that maybe you can or cannot drive off. And to your back, you're going to end up with a wall that you may or may not be able to climb out of, which puts you in a position where, without a little bit of planning, you're kind of stuck. And that kind of is the subject of today. I don't know why, but it seems that there is damn near close to no planning on the part of anybody who's elected for anything in federal office. You got offices upon offices, agriculture and mental health and office of the aging. And none of them seem to really have any plan for what's next. There's no kind of forward thinking, It's not just what happens if we end up with, printing $1 zillion and giving it away. Is that going to cause inflation? It's even worse than that, because it's okay, well, what happens to the treasury yields? And when the treasury, who's borrowing all this money, has to up its interest rates, then what? And because a lot of it is almost like revolving debt, there's bonds that you can buy, big bonds, not savings bank stuff, but when the interest goes up, long-term bonds where the interest goes up, the interest on the entire bond goes up, which is awesome, because you're not going to lose any money being tied into a 30-year treasury note that's paying 3% interest if it goes up to 5%. That's awesome. But the thing is that now the federal government, that's budgeted for a couple percent interest for 30 years, is now back up to 5%. And you can make that money considerably more expensive for the federal government to borrow. And I don't know why nobody thought about that. But the ramifications are that the national debt goes through the roof at an amazing rate, and we got to pay for it somehow, which is going to be even higher taxes for less services, or something. One of the big some of the big issues that that was just an example. One of the big issues that I'm kind of thinking about is, mental health. You've got, pretty sure that all of the mass, shootings in gun-free zones, they stopped reporting it because it was so embarrassing to the pharmaceuticals that all those shooters were on Prozac, they're on, Ritalin, they're on all kinds of crap that says don't, consult a physician if you're going to stop taking this, because bad things can happen. And they all went off their meds and did terrible things. And that's great. But you've got a lot of, it's generational, addicted to these medications. And I can see that being a huge mental health issue in the future. One of the downsides of those drugs in most cases is that the children that take them, when they start taking them, all the issues that they have that are age appropriate to be dealt with are put off because of the medications. Some kid's hyperactive and he can't sit still. Well, at some point, that kid's got to either get involved in something that lets him burn off that energy, or he's got to deal with it. One way or another, he's got to grow up someday. And the big problem is that on these medications, they don't grow up. It just postpones things. Another one is the elderly. You got an aging American, citizenry. You got an aging population, and really inadequate means to take care of them. And that's going to be a big problem for everybody that's, my age, and, give or take my age or older. At some point, we're going to need more services than we can give. And, we're going to have a hell of a problem. And I don't really have much interest in some knee-jerk reaction. Oh, well, we'll just build warehouses. We'll take the warehouses because the warehousing boom is over, and now there's millions of square feet of space everywhere. So we're just going to break them up into hospital rooms, and we're going to stack up the elderly there. I don't think that's that kind of a knee-jerk reaction. And the other thing is, I don't know if we have the trained personnel to deal with the elderly. Most places there's already a shortage. So what can we do to do something about that? Part of the problem is that most people don't think the elderly are cool. They don't realize that everything in our life was thought up, invented, whatever, by somebody else who's probably older than us. And now those older people are, they're disappearing. But we need to have a serious national conversation on that, besides just make s'mores and sing Kumbaya and hold hands, because that's about all that's really happening. The laws for elder abuse. If you beat up an elderly person, or you're charged with taking care of them, and they're found full of bed sores and starving, you're going to get in trouble. But the laws on literally fleecing them, stealing all their money under the guise of being a power of attorney, or some kind of an executor of an estate, that's rampant. That's mom's getting older, she still has her act together, but her house is worth that she and dad bought in the 50s for $8,000. It's now in a great neighborhood, and it's worth $3 million. And we did the numbers real quick, and mom's probably got another 5 years at a nursing home at $20,000 a month. Okay, we're going to come out with a huge windfall if we sell mom's house now. So mom's house gets fixed up, and then she gets shucked off to a nursing home, and all her shit's gone. And that's very common. It's shamefully common. That really needs to be addressed. And granted, not all elderly people can make competent decisions for themselves. But I've worked on houses, and somebody's telling you, oh yeah, mom always took care of us, now it's time to take care of her. And the house gets done, and mom's out on a first bus out of town. And that's something that needs to be addressed, like real comprehensive. If you rob elderly people, you got a real problem. Not, well, because you had this. Well, no, if you rob elderly people, you're in big trouble. And it's got to be very clear on, mental health, elderly, kind of ties in together, because a lot of elderly end up becoming senile, or they have a stroke and they have limited capacity. And I don't know of anybody doing anything or even talking about it. It's a shame. But anyway, I got another truck coming in. I'm gonna have to talk to the driver, and then that's my thoughts for today, as I'm bored out of my skull doing a monotonous job of swinging back and forth. So y'all have a great day.